how's it going? My name's Harvey Brattain and I'd like to welcome you to the Preston Jazz Festival 2021. So great to be here and thank you so much for coming to watch this video. We are currently live from Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States. Today I'm going to be talking to two Preston-based musicians, both of whom studied and lived in Preston most of their lives before they branched out further into the UK to further pursue their careers in music. So for that very reason, I'm super excited. We're going to get a bit of an insight into their careers so far within the music industry, and we're also going to learn a bit about their connection with the Preston music scene. Before we do that though, I'd love to tell you a little bit about myself as a musician and as a music artist. I was born in Preston and I've lived there most of my life until very recently when I moved over to the United States to start studying at Boston's Berklee College of Music. You may have seen me performing live around Preston City before, whether that be at previous years of this festival or even at the Preston Light Switch On 2019 when I supported Alexander O'Neal. I've always loved playing around the city. It's got a great vibe, an awesome music scene, and it's such a supportive environment and community for us musicians. So before we get into talking to our guests, I would love to play something for you guys. We recorded this earlier today at the Berklee College of Music 150 Studios. It's a track by The Weeknd and it's called I Can't Feel My Face. Let's check it out.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. She'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we'll both be beautiful and stay forever young. This I know, this I know. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me we'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. She'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. All the misery was necessary when we're deep in love. This I know, this I know. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me we'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you. but I love it, yeah, but I love it.
There we go. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Big thanks to the musicians that played on the session with me. Shout out to them. Those guys can seriously play. You can check their names out in the credits as well below. You can also see their social media details, so go and check them out. They're awesome musicians. So with that in mind, let's get on to talking to our guests. The first person I'd like to introduce is a phenomenal guitarist and singer-songwriter. He's currently studying at London's Academy of Contemporary Music and recently dropped his debut studio album, Inside Jessica's Notebook. Please welcome Jake Heaton.
Here we go, Jake Heaton. How's it going?
I'm very well, Harvey. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks so much for being part of the festival. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in ages. What time is it there?
It is about 6:30 in the evening, so what does that make it for you?
Oh my God, it's currently 20 to 2 in the afternoon. My Berklee College of Music dorm, as you can see.
Since I last saw you, just.
Yes, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy to think as well, the COVID situation over here is so different. There's still live performances going on as well, but I guess you're itching to start playing as well in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have, a couple live stream gigs and stuff like that, but nothing will compare to seeing the whites of people's eyes.
Yeah, I know. I saw your Continental gig on Instagram the other week. I had a really busy schedule that day, but I managed to see a bit of it. It was awesome, dude. It was so cool.
It was a really, really good night. Everything, went to plan. I couldn't have asked for it. And the Conti have a great team, Rob and this team. So.
Yeah, big shout out to them. Okay, so let's get started then. So I'm going to just kind of talk a bit about your background in the Preston music scene, how you got into music, what kind of inspired you to do that, and how you kind of started playing live performances in the Preston kind of music area. So let's talk about a little bit of your background growing up in music. Can you tell me what inspired you to actually start playing music? I know you're a guitarist and singer, so let's talk a little bit about that.
The exact thing that triggered all of this absolute massacre, which has been my music career so far, was my mum and dad bringing home a Bon Jovi CD from a concert.
Right.
And I remember they brought it home. I was maybe about 4 or 5, and they just played it the whole way home from when they picked up my grandma's, and it just literally went on from there. Then I started having lessons in Chorley, which is actually the town where I'm from, with Mark Easton, and I still have lessons to him with him to this day. What a crazy journey it's been so far.
Yeah. That's awesome. So in terms of the kind of music that you'd listen to when you were kind of pre-stardom, as you will, what kind of stuff are you listening to at home,
Literally, when I say that Bon Jovi were my idols growing up, Bon Jovi were my idols growing up. That was what I listened to, and I did not deviate. And I think that was obvious in my playing, growing up. Even when I was going through the Sky Arts TV phase in 2016, I was on this guitar competition show. My playing was very linear and boxed in, just because that's all I listened to was just Bon Jovi. Things have expanded now. Now I've moved to London. I'm massively into people like John Mayer, Chris Bork, Matthias Asato, all these social media artists which are up and coming really influence me now. So pop and R&B nowadays, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said John Mayer. I mean, I think your music has definitely taken a lot of inspiration from that. And your playing style is definitely, shaped by that. I love John. Yeah.
Yeah, I love John Mayer. The thing I like about John Mayer is he shares his favourite artists as well, and it's usually the people that have inspired him. So that's how I learned about Tom Misch, and so it's really an interesting guy to get into. I know he gets a lot of stick as well.
Yeah, no, I mean it's weird me being in the US at the moment and being at Berklee College of Music. It's weird to see the kind of dynamic amongst guitarists where there's a lot of kind of stigma around the name of John Mayer. Him being this great artist and great player. He actually only came to Berklee, I think, 1 or 2 semesters, and then he decided to him. And he actually lived in 150 Massachusetts Avenue, which is the building next to me. But I think you can actually see his room, and they make a bit of an icon out of it. It's kind of like an attraction that people go and see sometimes.
Wow.
But it's weird to think that he once was here, like many other artists like Charlie Puth, they all came here, and it's great to see that kind of environment, where these famous people once came, you know, and it's great to see that, you know, your music takes such inspiration from, you know, such great artists as well.
Yeah, it's great to see that people from Preston are getting the chance to spread their wings, you know, with me in London and then you in Boston. And, you know, don't get me wrong, we've worked for what we've had to do, but we've both had some amazing opportunities working together as well.
I know, which brings me on to my next point as well. So, being a Preston lad, we both went to Cardinal Newman College, right?
Yeah, college.
Yeah, and you are the year above me, right? So you were in year 13 when I came into college. And I first met you, I think it was when we were in one of the rehearsal rooms, and either you were playing something and I came in and I saw you, or vice versa. I think I was playing something. I think I was playing one of my own tracks and you came in and we immediately started jamming, and there was definitely that kind of chemistry there. What a great day that was. And that's how the friendship started and the professional relationship as well.
Yeah, it literally just, from just a 2-minute me picking up this £100 Squire guitar has led to 4 years of our working relationship and friendship as well, Harvey.
I know. So you studied A-level music, right? What other courses did you do at Newman?
I studied A-level music, BTEC music performance and BTEC music production. So basically all three had to offer. And you know what? They were actually unreal. Karis and James, that's a better choose to say, they probably had the biggest impact on my music career so far, actually.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to both of them. You know, James Cruikshank, for me, I had him, you know, for music production. I did very similar lessons to you, didn't I? I took both courses plus the A-level. And James Cruikshank, what a great saxophonist. He actually came to see us at the 2019 Preston Jazz Festival. If you remember, he was in the audience. And we one of the tracks that we were playing, he recorded something for us, and then we played it live on stage along one of the songs we were playing as well.
No, that was really good because, you know, it was nice to be on stage, even though he wasn't playing it and we were playing to a track. It was nice to have something of Crookie on the stage.
I know. I remember the keys player on that day hitting the sample pad when the sax sample came in, and him just kind of going, "Why can't I do that?" For what was like a 1-bar phrase or something.
I will remember that riff to the day I die.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So that's awesome. So it's great to hear that Preston has such a wide and rich educational focus, especially on the music scene, because I think more and more institutions like colleges and high schools are having less and less of a focus on music. So it's great that from a city that we're both from, the education sector are still kind of putting in their bit, to get young musicians, trained and getting them, to do what they love, and even though our budget was probably a lot smaller than some of the bigger departments, like the maths department.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it was a great time, right?
Not have asked for any better support from them. And just touching on Preston briefly, it does have a riveting music scene, despite what the band of Royal Blood said once, calling it depressing after no one bought tickets.
Yeah.
But I would disagree with that. I've played almost every venue countless times, Continental, 51, Darkroom, Ferret, many times, and selling quite a number of tickets. And every time we're welcomed back with open arms, and that's something that we're always grateful for. Yeah,
we are, and we're so grateful to have, like you say, such a wide variety of venues. Like you say, the Continental especially, that's probably the biggest one, most famous in Preston. And then you also have 53 Degrees that belong to UCLan, and big shout out to UCLan because they're the university and institution that are supporting the Preston Jazz Festival, and they have been doing for the past 3 years. So big shout out to them. But like you say, some awesome venues and having some great artists, both upcoming and some greats as well. I mean, we both played for the Preston Light Switch on the back end of 2019, right? And it might be helpful to just let the audience know who's watching now, any viewers, that you session with me sometimes, right, for my own stuff. And we did the Preston Light Switch on, and that was in support of Alexander O'Neill, right? and he came. So what a name to have in what is a quite small city, but
There was a large number of people there. That was one of the nights that I won't forget, to be fair. And that was literally just before, maybe a month before I actually flew out to New Zealand. So that was the last show that I played. The last show that I played with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and what a great gig it was. I mean, there was I think about 8,500, 9,000 people there that night.
Busy, yeah.
Very, very busy. So you talked about New Zealand. That's definitely something I wanted to talk about as well. So early 2020, you set off to go and do a year out in New Zealand, right?
That is true. I have some family out there who, as I found out when we got there, schedules were up in the air. As soon as I got there, they came back to the UK. So I was just there with their place of residence by myself. And then I met my cousins for the first time, Angel, Andrew and Jack. And we literally just had the best time. And something that, just every day was working on a boat. It was a life, and I did a couple of gigs out there. And the weirdest thing was I thought I had, public speaking potentially down to a bit of a T, but it's weird to figure out how different countries gauge. I'm trying to gauge the audience, and the usual lines that I'd used in the UK didn't work in New Zealand, so I had to adapt and overcome. But it was definitely a challenge, and I definitely rose to it.
Yeah, that Lancashire accent, you definitely got to tone it down, haven't you? I have the same being in Boston as well. Americans are obsessed with British accent, as you know, and I came over and they're like, oh my God, can you do the accent? And you start speaking in your normal voice, and they don't fully comprehend sometimes what you're saying. And
we don't have a typical British accent.
Yeah, I know. Ours are quite, regionalized and quite, broad, exactly. So, and even my accent has definitely changed slightly whilst I've been here, because I've had to adapt the way I speak sometimes to actually be understood. Even small words like lift, in the UK, the thing that takes you onto the next floor, a very common word here is elevator. You've got sidewalk for pavement. Little things, and I say things that, in my British wit that people would, laugh at, and Americans just kind of look at me like a lost puppy.
Yeah, you were saying, you were telling me a couple the other day. No, it's interesting how different countries pronounce different words. In New Zealand, they finish sentences on an up, which in the UK would suggest a question, or so you adapt. And one thing that I picked up and I still say is all good, as in like, right, all good, let's go.
Yeah. Sure.
Not a question, are we all good? Like, right, all good, let's go.
And I mean, it's so important, when you're trying to control a crowd, when you're, especially when you're playing by yourself, which I noticed most of the gigs you were doing in New Zealand were more kind of acoustic, stripped back, because you didn't have...
It was only nearer to the end of the trip when I managed to, source out some people. It took a while for me to find my feet, and then Corona came about. Next thing I know, I'm back home.
Yeah.
Came home maybe in the middle of the first lockdown. But everything does happen for a reason, and
of course,
the most pivotal summer of my life, actually preparing for my debut album, which was my 2020 album, I suppose.
Yeah. So onto that then. So that was 2020, right? Inside Jessica's Notebook, which was released right kind of just before lockdown in 2020, right?
Yeah, it was August, so we had a couple of outings. It was the period where we thought that we got it under hand, and then things started going not great again, but I wouldn't have changed it, I got the best reception I could have got, probably a better reception than if people were back doing things that people were doing. I would have loved to have gone out, maybe done a small tour, but, we are where we are. People bought the album, people bought the merch, people bought the limited edition vinyls, and I couldn't have been more grateful for the support I received of that.
Yeah, I mean, congrats, man. It was definitely, I loved it. And for what, was such a limited, time you had to really focus and, hone in on writing songs in, a time when most people were either at home or isolating. you know, as terrible as the COVID pandemic was, I think for artists, you know, it was a shame with all your venues closing, detrimental. But for songwriters, I think it did do some good, you know, being able to stay at home and really work on, you know, songs that maybe you wouldn't have had time to work on, you know, if life was in full swing, you know?
It was, and still is, to be fair, you know, you've got to realise that things are only really just starting lifting up. You know, we've only just literally the past couple of days been allowed back into bars inside. And it gave me a chance to catch up, because throughout the days I'm always, you know, getting little voice memos together, and usually they just sit there. But it gave me a chance to catch up, rehash things. For example, If You'd Stay With Me, which is my latest single, which came out in February, I've had the chorus melody now for about 2 years now, so it was good for it to come out of the woodworks. And even some of the stuff that didn't make the album, for example, By Your Side, which is something I wrote in New Zealand, which was about a girl that was in Australia, and you know, the distance, how we were so close yet so far. I actually didn't make the album, but I'm still using bits of that nowadays for my uni work or stuff like that. It is a useful time.
Definitely. So in terms of the album then, tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind, you know, the sole story of the album. Did it have, you know, lots of different meanings to you, or did it have, you know, a reason to really, you know, write that album and, you know, make all those songs? Was it one song?
The album was, it was put out as a question. It was, listen folks, here's 11 songs, yeah? You've got 3 funk influenced songs, you've got 3 rock songs, you've got 3 country songs, and you've got 1 acoustic song. From how you react to them songs, I will gauge what path you want me to take. So be it. The indie heartbreak vibe, you know, came out on top, it ruled. It sounds like A Call I Can't Explain and Inside Jessica's Notebook and stuff like that, which I thought it would, and they're my favourite ones to write, so that was fantastic. But it was definitely like, you tell me what you like and I'll do that. So that was fantastic, and that is basically how Inside Jessica's Notebook came about. And it was mixed and mastered by Tom Hale, who also plays session music for me, plays guitar. Also in a band called the Empire Police from Preston. Again, have also played every music venue in Preston.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it was a big step for me. I needed to put it out before I came to uni, and it was just there. There you go. You tell me what you like, and I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I love that kind of strategy about, you know, using different genres within the album to kind of gauge what your audience want to listen to from you. You know, one of my favorite tracks on there is Holy War. I love the kind of funk guitar that you have on there.
Well, it relates to the time. For example, the heavier songs like If I Ever Get Around to Living and High Off Your Love, you know, they might be a little bit older because of the Bon Jovi background. Then you get songs like Come See My Dreams and Holy War, you know, you got the Mayer influence. And then, you know, it all relates to the time. And one of my favourite ones off the album was Come See My Dreams. That was actually recorded at a live gig which I played in New Zealand, and written, recorded, wrote, studied in New Zealand, that song was. And it's still there. I have yet to actually play it in the UK, so I'm actually going to play this now. It's actually going to be a UK first for me to play this, because I've not touched it since.
Oh, great, awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, it sounds like New Zealand and the experience you had there, albeit quite short because of COVID and having to come back to the UK, it sounds like it definitely did have a huge impact on your, you know, ever continuing music career. And to have a lot of the inspiration behind Inside Jessica's Notebook written in New Zealand and, you know, put out because of your experiences there, and some of the tracks you say about the girl who was in Australia being, you know, so close but so far away. It's great to have, you know, artists from what is a really quite small city going to the complete other side of the world and then crafting an album from that. And it's great to see, you know, developing artists and upcoming artists, you know, just doing so well. It is really, really refreshing.
Even now, I'm taking influence from my New Zealand trip. In my latest single, If You'd Stay With Me, I quoted, and you drove our Bobby around the bend, but you know I'd still do anything for you.
Yeah.
And that was just in regards to like our friendship circle, you know, 2 people get together and like things might not go as planned, and then, but at the end of the day, you know, I'd still do anything for you. and that's how that came about. So yeah, so I'm gonna play my first song now.
Yeah.
In My Dreams. A little too true to sing all the time, I must say, but here we go.
Darling, please come see my dreams and realize I'm made for you. Take my hand, 'cause I've got a plan, and I'll take us to a greener land. I'll be there. I'll be there. I hope that we will go and make it down the slippery slope. Take my hand, 'cause I've got a plan, and I'll take us to a greener land. I'll be there. I'll be there. If you come see my dreams, would I get by without you? If I figure it out somehow, would you come see my dreams for all they had to show? Would I get by without you? If I figure it out somehow, 'cause this feeling means much more than you know. Would I get by without you? There's no return back now. Would you come see my dreams for all they had to show? Would I get by without you? If there's no return back now, yeah. Would I get by without you? 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 Or would I get by with you?
That was awesome, dude. I love that. What a great chorus as well.
Yeah, thank you. You know, as I said, a little too true to sing all the time, but sometimes it's the right time, and that was definitely one of them.
100%. And it's so nice to have, I love having albums where you have like a live, pre-recorded live track on the album, you know, that's been filmed or that's been recorded at a live gig, and then the artist has been put straight onto the album. It's just awesome.
It really, for me, it really added something to the album. It was definitely taken shape from John Mayer's In Your Atmosphere, which was on his live album.
Mm-hmm.
But it does add a certain aspect of, you know, this is me and this is my guitar. This is what I do without all the production, without the bass. This is just what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? This is what I've got to say. I'm going to say it like this.
Awesome. Well, Come See My Dreams. You can access that on Spotify, Apple Music, from Inside Jessica's Notebooks on all major streaming platforms, right?
That is true.
Cool. So, guys, anyone watching, definitely listen to that song. I have it on my playlist on repeat. Absolutely great stuff. I just want to talk a little bit about where you are now, Jake. So you're in London at the moment, studying at London's ACM, right? What does that stand for again? Academy of Contemporary Music?
Academy of Contemporary Music in London, central London. I'm about 10 minutes away on the tube from Oxford Street, so you literally always catch me there. You know what? It's been a weird year with it being online. It's been a weird year walking down Oxford Street at Saturday lunchtime when it would be packed and seeing no one. But I wouldn't change it, I'll tell you that. I've got a story to tell, and later on in life I'll be able to tell my kids, I'll be able to tell my grandkids that I would walk down the street and no one was here. Like,
Yeah.
That's something weird.
It's just unprecedented time, doesn't it?
What
Right.
we're going through now is absolute history, and I think it's something that needs to be documented.
100%. Yeah, it's going to be weird, talking about this in 10, 20 years' time as the COVID-19 pandemic, when everything changed. I feel like it's going to be studied in history classes.
Crazy vibes. Wow.
So
Yeah.
you're studying, let me just double check my notes. It's professional music performance, right?
Professional music performance. Yeah, you pick your
How's that?
modules. It is a really good course. It's it's hard graft at times. It is hard graft at times, but you pick your modules with what you want to do. And there's an array of modules. You can pick anything from game design to music business and stuff like that. So really, that's just the mother name of the course, but the course is what you want to make it, which is one of the reasons I actually came to ACM. So it's fantastic. I'm loving it. It will be nice to be on campus a bit more, but hopefully next year, which will be my second year here, we'll be able to get loads of time on campus because I've got some really great gear in there as well.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I came down to see you briefly, probably the end of last year, right? And we met up. It's a shame I couldn't see campus because of COVID, but looks like you're having a great time. Do you think that people from the north, and especially the northwest, have you met anyone else from that region of the UK, or is it mainly people from down south? And
there's a lot of people from down south. There's a couple from up north, but not really much from our end. I'll be honest. Yeah, a lot of people come from the south. I'm in a shared accommodation with people from UAL, Uni Arts, London or something like that. So nice, we're constantly mixing. And tomorrow I'm going out with someone who's studying photography to get some new pictures taken. So that'll be fantastic. And yeah, it is a really diverse place to be in, and you meet so many different people.
that's so exciting. Well, go on, Preston. Look what it's taken, the way it's taken you. That's awesome.
Cheers.
Okay, I'm just conscious of time, so I'm going to touch on one other point, and then I think we're going to call it a day. So I just wanted to talk to the audience and the viewers that are watching right now about a little project that we're working on together. I'm not going to drop the name, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but we're working on a single, a collab. It's going to have both our voices on. I think I'm going to produce it, and we'll get it mastered by, I think, the legendary Graham Lynch, I think. What a guy. Who, by the way, mastered some of your tracks, right?
Yeah, we recorded. He didn't master, but we recorded a lot of the drums at Future Works in Manchester with him, and he engineered that.
That's it. You worked as a recording engineer as well, yeah, my mistake.
Yeah, he did have a great part to play in that as well, so big up Lynchy.
100%, yeah, so we're just going to release that hopefully at the end of when the UK restrictions get lifted, and it's definitely going to have a summer vibe.
You've got to check out. If you've not streamed any of my music or Harvey's music, don't bother. Stream this new song.
Yes. Yeah, and hopefully it'll be a kind of anthem of the times for when COVID restrictions get lifted. When's the date supposedly in the UK? June?
I think it's the 21st, so keep your eyes peeled for around then. We're gonna, you'll know about it. We're gonna run a huge pre-save campaign as well, and it is about. This is the first song I wrote that's not a heartbreak banger. Really, it is about last year when restrictions were lifted but not fully lifted. You could go out in twos from different households. It is about. We spent a lot of time on a beach near us, Ainsdale Beach, and losing our track of time and stuff like that, and having fires and stuff like that. Just proper summer vibes, and hopefully that comes across in the track.
100%, yeah. I can't wait to release it. It's going to be great.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna have one more song from you. This is gonna be a cover, right? This is a Cortinas track.
This is going to be my take on Cortina's Not 19 Forever, which is a bit of a classic song, but I'm not going to do it in a Strongbow Dark Fruits manner.
Okay, let's take a listen.
She tried to peel me off the pavement, tried to insinuate sometimes I'm in danger of going too far. Said I would like to go for tea and toast. Get your hand off my thigh. In the car, she turned to me and said, "You're not 19 forever, pull yourselves together." I know it seems strange, but things they change. Older woman and younger man, both of them doing all they can. I tried to get your attention all night long. I asked you once, I asked you twice, asked you 4 times if you'd like to dance to that song. From Call the Crowd down the stairs, I followed you out in the rain, nowhere to be found. Never mind, you probably never look that pretty again. You're not 19 forever, pull yourselves together. I know it seems strange, but things they change. Older woman and ever so slightly younger man, gotta bless the band, they're doing all they can. On 19 forever, pull yourselves together. I know it seems strange, but things they change. Older woman and ever so slightly younger man, God bless this band, they're doing all they can. 19 forever, pull yourselves together. I know it seems strange, but things they change.
That was awesome, as per. Love it.
Thank you.
What a great interpretation. Just
Yeah, the classic song. People will say it's overplayed, but not when you play it like that, I don't think.
definitely not that version. No, that was awesome. Well, Jake, thank you so much for being part of this. I appreciate your time as well, especially with the time difference.
No, thank you for having me on, and I know we're actually linking up tomorrow to work on this track as well. So
I'll see you tomorrow. For anyone else watching, we're going to be interviewing Molly Becker very, very shortly. So keep your eyes peeled for that and stay tuned. And Jake, I will see you back in the UK this summer.
cheers, Harvey. Cheers, Preston.
See you later.
Our second guest today is also someone I know pretty well. She's a brilliant singer-songwriter and violinist, currently based in Manchester, studying at its legendary Royal Northern College of Music. Please give a warm welcome to Molly Becker.
All right, Molly, good to see you. How's it going?
That's good, thanks. How are you doing?
It's great to see you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for taking part in the festival as well. It's really nice for you to donate your time to be part of it.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So how's it going? What you been up to at the moment?
Well, I'm just getting back into uni at the minute. As things are opening up, we're allowed back into the building. So I've just been doing some band rehearsals. I did the recording for you earlier today. Yeah, just getting back into uni work and getting back into the swing of real life again.
That's so exciting. I was trying to work out earlier before, like when the last time it was I actually saw you. It's probably a good 2 years ago, at college, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's mental. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. So let's talk a little bit about how you got into doing what you're doing at the moment, because it sounds like you're doing really well. So, born in Preston, tell me a little bit about how you got into playing music, how you got into the kind of music that you now listen to. Just give me a bit of an insight.
Yeah, I grew up around Chorley, which is really close to Preston.
Uh-huh.
And I originally started out playing violin. So I was trained classically, went through loads of different like orchestras and stuff. And, you know, just like went basically most of my life doing classical music. And then ended up actually joining a few choirs as I got a bit older, really kind of explored singing a bit more.
Yeah.
I was introduced to, you know, some jazz legends like Ella Fitzgerald and Moan and stuff like that, and ended up just loving it so much. And yeah, so now I'm studying popular music now in Manchester, but actually spent quite a lot of time in Manchester in terms of both choirs and orchestras, actually, with both the junior school at the RNCM and Halle. They run some junior schemes, or like youth schemes, where they have a youth orchestra and a youth choir. So I spent most of my weekends in Manchester doing both of those, as well as the junior school at the Royal Northern.
That's so exciting. Wow. So just to clarify for all the viewers watching, so you're studying, what's the name of the course you're studying again?
So it's the popular music course.
Okay.
But
like a voice principal there, you're studying as voice. Okay, cool. And that's at Manchester's Royal Northern College of Music. Wow, that's awesome. It's so nice to see people from Preston, and I was saying this to Jake earlier today, from what is, you know, a relatively small city in comparison to some of the, you know, huge cities in the UK where music is a bigger thing. It's so nice to see musicians from Preston you know, doing it proud, and, you know, it's just doing so well. And it's nice to see, especially with our connection, which I'm going to talk about in a second, with Newman, like we also had with Jake, that we've all kind of come from the same boat, if you know what I mean. I'm in the US, you're in Manchester, he's in London, and we're all kind of doing our thing. And it's just so nice to see how, you know, everyone's kind of got that varied career path, and how it's, you know, how its journey is kind of constantly changing, you know.
I mean, it's just, you know, just goes to show it doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is. Like wherever you are, you can go on to do anything. You know, you can set your mind to music.
100%.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's just talk about our connection. So we met at Cardinal Newman College in Preston when we both studied. Like Jake, seems to be the kind of hub of connections at the moment. It's becoming a bit of a familiar story. But you studied A-level music, music performance, and German, which I believe are the exact same courses that I took as well. Yeah. How did you find that? And do you think that really, you know, was a consolidation of your, you know, passion for music? Do you think that really helped with your career? Do you think it gave you a kind of like a boost?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I loved my time at Newman. I mean, I think obviously I just love Preston. I think it's a great place to be, but the college was just brilliant. And the courses, definitely just really helped me kind of find exactly what I wanted to do. The A-level was just brilliant for, you know, all the like theory side of stuff, and just really like setting your knowledge in that kind of, like just like harmonic understanding, like, you know, all of that stuff is really useful now. But then the BTEC that we did in performance is kind of like a smaller version of what I'm doing now for my course, and so much of the stuff I learned there has been so useful.
Right.
Yeah, I've loved it.
Yeah. So do you think, I know it's difficult with COVID at the moment and the kind of, the restrictions, but are you still finding ways to collaborate with other musicians, whether that be online or doing kind of socially distanced things? How's that working?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, quite a lot of my uni submissions at the minute have been like trying to collaborate online and trying to kind of get around this issue of not being able to make music with people in person. But some of the solutions we've found is just amazing. And obviously, like lots of the collaboration videos coming out at the minute have been so fun to make. There's just so much opportunity to work with so many different people that you potentially wouldn't ordinarily get to work with. I know at our uni we've had a lot of people kind of come in and give masterclasses that potentially we never would have been able to get in, but from across the world. So from where you are right now, we've had people come and give us kind of online masterclasses. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to Jay, as terrible as the pandemic has been, and the tragedies that have occurred, and how it's wrecked businesses, and it's obviously destroyed some elements of the music industry for us all, which is usually a big source of income, live performances, concerts, gigs, etc. But I guess for the kind of creative part of the music industry, where that be songwriting, producing, mixing, it definitely has provided some people, I think, with some opportunities, like you say, being able to meet musicians that you usually would never ever dream of collaborating with, and kind of unlock those avenues and doors for people that they would have never ever experienced had COVID not been here. So I think as terrible as this has been, I think it has provided some benefits and maybe opened some people's eyes.
And I think it's nice to even amongst all of the, like you said, the tragedy and like how difficult the situation has been, like to find positives and find ways to make it work for you and work in the industry.
Yeah.
I think it's just such a great thing to be able to kind of adapt to those situations. Like as musicians, that's just what we have to do every day. So
Exactly.
I think it's gone well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that brings me on to my next point. So we're going to watch one of your performances that you very kindly recorded for us. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're playing Trust by Robert Glasper, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. And do you want to give a shout out to anyone who's on the track or playing with you in the performance?
Yeah, so my friend Toby Saunders has kindly played the piano for me in one of our studios at college where we recorded this. We've arranged it for just vocals and piano, but it's such a brilliant tune. I mean, we didn't have to do very much. It's just, Robert Glasper, what a king.
Yes, what a legend. Okay, I look forward to it. Let's take a listen.
My heart's beating fast in my head, trying to catch up. My heart needs to feel you, but you back up. Let your guard down, just lay it on the table. I'm willing and able to try to mend the broken pieces of my heart. For like raindrops, broken pieces from the start, but I can't break apart. I need you, love. Believe you, love. I need you, love. Believe you, trust. How can I trust love
Wow, that was something else. I love it. What a great hook as well. Awesome job.
Yeah. Brilliant tune. Thank you.
Yeah, big shout out to the accompanist as well. What was his name again? Toby Saunders? Okay, big shout out to Toby Saunders. That was awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to just talk briefly about some events that me and you have both taken part in, you know, which have been centered right in the center of Preston. And then we're going to play another track I think you've recorded for us a bit later. But like I say, before we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about events that we've collaborated with within Preston. So let's talk a little bit about the Harris Live. Definitely a throwback. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. But I remember that night really well. For anyone who didn't see the event, I think it was live streamed as well at the time. But it was right in the center of the Harris Museum, which is a beautiful museum if you've not been in there. And the natural reverb of the room has this really huge dome-like ceiling. And I just remember it being such an intimate gig. And you brought your violin and we did some kind of duetting vocals as well. You're a bit of a woman of many talents on that night, because you had the bass, the violin, and the vocals as well. And I remember the bass broke that night, didn't it? And the sound engineer, he went and he ran down to his house, which is a 2 minute jog away, and just brought one of his own basses, covered in dust, but
Beautiful bass.
Did the job, right? But yeah, I'll remember that night. You know, it was a great opportunity to present that kind of that gig and be in that environment. And I just hope that, you know, they start doing that again after COVID. But yeah, what a great example of an iconic venue in Preston, which, you know, has so much opportunity for musicians. You know, you get the light switch on, which I talked about with Jake. You get, you know, the jazz festival, which they put on, you know, every year. But then I think smaller events like that, in a more intimate setting, in a building as beautiful as that, you know, it's a rare find. So I think we're very lucky to have somewhere like that in our home city.
Definitely. And, you know, just like right in the center, just to be able to like walk in and find like so much in one building. Like, you know, I've been in before to see various gigs. And yeah, to play there was really special, actually. I think that was one of my first proper gigs in Preston. And yeah, I loved it. It was great to be able to play that kind of music, which, you know, ordinarily you might not expect to find in such a beautiful place.
I know.
But it's such a, the dome is just so lovely. The acoustics were just perfect.
Yeah, it's great. Cool. Which brings me on to my next point, really. I remember a lot of younger people in the audience there who kind of came up to me. I don't know if you remember after the show, I think they may have spoken to you as well, but a few people who were younger in the audience definitely wanted some kind of tips and wanted some advice on getting into playing an instrument, or, you know, getting into the music industry. Molly, would you say anything to, you know, aspiring musicians or anyone who's never played a musical instrument before? You know, is there anything you'd say to these people, you know, some tips on, you know, getting into playing and getting into, you know, music? What would you say as someone who's now working as a professional?
I mean, if you've never played anything before, so like right from scratch, I'd say the first thing I would just listen to everything that you can, find that instrument that you're like, wow, that's what I want to do, and just find something you're just like really passionate about, and then find access to it, be that through, you know, your school or your college, wherever you are, and then just play. I would just say, have a go. That's like the worst thing you can do is just want to do something and never do it. If you get into music, then just find any way that you can to play. And especially, you know, around Preston, there's so many opportunities, there's so many people that you can meet. I think one of my favorite things about Preston is how friendly everybody is. So go to those gigs when, you know, now things are opening up, like go to those gigs, meet those people, talk to people backstage or after a show, try and get involved, and just go for it. You know, nowadays there's so much online, like YouTube tutorials, like you know, you can find tutors anywhere. So find yourself an instrument, and find yourself some lessons and then just go for it.
Great advice. I think I'd say something very similar as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for any of the younger viewers watching, definitely do that. Go out, listen to some music. I highly recommend buying some CDs as well. I'm still of the obsession of not letting the CD die out, because all these industries that are distributing them, they just sit there. And is HMV still open in the UK at the moment?
No, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I love that throwback vibe, you know. I've also, some of my friends here as well have some really nice vinyl players as well, and just have like vinyl copies of things. And it's so old school, but you know, we all use Spotify, we all use Apple Music. It's the number one thing to use, but it's so nice to just sometimes go back a few years and, you know, pop a CD in, or, you know, even further in the past and, you know, get a vinyl copy of something. It's awesome. And yeah, like they just listen and, you know, try and get some lessons or just YouTube videos. I think that's excellent advice. So thank you so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about the next track that you're going to perform. Do you want to introduce that first of all?
Yeah, so it's going to be How We Love by Gretchen Parlato. It's a beautiful song. We've also arranged this for vocals and piano, short a little bit, but if you can, I would say definitely listen to the original because her voice is so unique.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have a go.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure it'll be great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with this artist, so it's definitely someone I'm going to check out. But is this someone you listen to a lot?
Yeah, she's done so much amazing stuff. I mean, like you said, you know, Spotify makes all this kind of stuff readily available, but I actually do have a few of her CDs. So yeah, no, she does all sorts, but she's kind of a staple, I would say, in the modern jazz world.
Cool. Well, here we go. So this is Molly Becker's interpretation of How We Love. Let's check it out.
Love, 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 love. That on a summer day, and I cannot say where all the time goes, followed by the shadows of our yesterdays, but they've gone away and leave us all to find out who we are inside our minds. And you decide it's time to change. Songs that create such a beautiful melody, sounds up in the sky that realize that you and I will go on and on and on and on and on. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how we love. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how we love. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how we love. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how we love, 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 love,
I love that. That was so cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Your pianist he's got chops. He's very good.
One of the best.
Definitely. Big shout out. Okay, so Molly, thank you so much for being part of the festival. I really appreciate you, like I say, donating your time to come on the Zoom call and being a part of the festival. It's great to see you again. I've not seen you in ages, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. But yeah, thank you very much for being part of the Preston Jazz Festival.
Yeah, it's what an honour. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
No worries. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Preston, thank you so much for having me and coming to watch. It's been great to be here. Thank you to all of the Preston Jazz Festival and the artistic director, Tony Rigg, for inviting me to host this video for you guys to watch. Keep an eye out for all the amazing acts performing throughout the duration of the festival, and please go show them your support. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.